Kia ora, Lara here, also known as Scrappykea on various social media sites. This is going to be a layout created from this sketch, and it's a sketch I put together and it will be shared in our sort of Teams monthly newsletter for Close to My Heart. So I am pretty much playing around with the January-February collection, and that was just released a few days ago, considering as I'm recording this for me here in New Zealand, it is the 3rd of January 2024. It takes me a while to say 2024 rather than the previous year, so hopefully you'll bear with me if I come up with that again. Maybe you do the same. It just, for some reason, clicking around to a new year just takes a wee bit of mind registering for the new year that it is. So what I have got is a photo that I took while on our school camp. So in early December, I think it was, we went away for a school camp and we were camping in tents with 70 odd 10-11 year olds in sort of a paddock on a farm. So if you know me at all, you know I kind of need my coffee each day. I have various paraphernalia for making sure I can have a coffee when I go places. We have a great coffee machine here at home. It was out of action for a while this last year, so in 2023, and I kind of didn't really enjoy that much. So we have like an espresso machine that I take with me when I'm staying away from home at motels and stuff, or hotels and places, holiday houses, just in case there isn't decent coffee there. And what I had here in this photo is my little gas cooker that I just put on this tiny little sort of gas canister, and I had a wee whistling kettle that we had years ago from camping, family camping trips, and I used to use like a stovetop espresso thing on top of the gas cooker. However, I have progressed a little bit, so I boiled the water in the kettle and I used a little hand presso mini presso machine. So basically you're kind of pumping the boiling water through the espresso, and in this case I had purchased some all press pods, which are my favourite so far, pods to go through this wee machine. But anyway, I digress. I am using the Let's Party paper collection here. So this Yay paper is part of that. The cardstock I've popped in the background I think is Ballerina, and then I actually used the stamp set, the stencil from the Skylark collection, which is currently available. It's kind of like I think it's a Bring Back My Pack or something like that, but there's gorgeous leaves and foliage, and I thought, well, why not bring that in, because kind of while we're in a paddock, we're kind of out stuck in nature, even though sort of the subject of my layout is really the coffee that comes in. So here I have just been pulling out some of the mix-ins and just playing around with the different patterns on them. So while I'm using Let's Party, I'm also pulling in the January-February mix-in collections. These are often more neutral toned, and they add a softness to the papers. So this stripe paper here is Let's Party, and I end up not actually using that stripy paper. I toyed with the idea of that red and pink being the background for this layout, or being the base paper for it, but I decided in the end, after playing around with the photo and seeing what made it stand out better, that it would be better to go with the Ballerina cardstock, and I used the light side of the cardstock as well. So what you see me doing here is, this is the back of that pink and red stripe paper, and I'm just going to fussy cut out these little pennant banner type things, and I'm going to put these at various places in the page. So on the sketch there was sort of some different designs. I think it might have been florals, I can't remember just as I do this voiceover, but I decided that I would sort of, instead of the splodgy background that the sketch had, I did that floral stenciling that I talked about a little bit before with that great stencil from the Skylark collection, and then I've just cut out these little pennant banners to kind of be the extra bits over those. So now I am going to just add a wee bit of a stamp down the bottom of the photo. So the photo is backed with a thin cut, so this is a 3x3 photo frame thin cut. It's really cute actually. There's a few different options available in the January-February book of these. They will sell out from time to time, and I have a feeling this one's already sold out at the moment, but because it's so early on in the cycle, they do often bring these back in for customers or for people to purchase, but it is one that I can see myself using quite a bit because it's kind of cool. So that is that. The stamp I was going to tell you about, the warms my heart and these little hearts that I'm using are both part of the Your Smile stamp set. Now each year Close to My Heart brings out a stamp, and part of this stamp is that $7 for each stamp goes to Operation Smile. So it's a non-profit organisation that works to provide surgery for cleft lips and palates in children, especially where safe and affordable surgeries are out of reach for those children. So it's kind of something, cleft palate and hair lip does happen in New Zealand and in places where you may be. However, we have access to surgery and cosmetic surgeries and different things to help people out. But in some countries, these kids don't have it, and it creates all sorts of problems with eating and yeah, just it's really life challenging stuff. And so by purchasing that stamp set, which is this year's got some quite cool stuff on it. It's got Smile, it's got a sort of stitch clouds and the hearts that you've seen me stamp on there. And so yeah, so have a look out for that if you're interested in that stamp set and supporting Operation Smile as well. So you can see I've sort of stuck down these wee banners, and these little asterisks or starbursts are part of the Let's Party embellishments, and I'm just going to pull some of these in as well, just to add a little bit more dimension in those sort of clustered areas where I've got the wee banners and I have got the stenciled leaves or stenciled foliage from, I think it was the Skylark collection. So I'm just going to use some liquid glass here to attach these. I kind of still go back to this. I could use glue dots or something like that, but I just feel that the liquid glass has a really strong adhesive, and it doesn't seem to have come off in any of my pages when I've been sticking down acrylics and different things like that. So I'm sorry about that, a camera adjusting as I pull it a bit closer to do that. It kind of buzzes in and out, which is kind of cool at the same time because you get to see what I'm doing. So I have finished with that, and now I'm going to use some more. I played around with different titles. Now this particular one is an older letter set that we had. I just had a box of them, and I sort of have some white ones, some wood ones, and these black letters. And I do think I stick this O down upside down, but never mind. And I'm just titling it Espresso. Because that's essentially what the photo's all about, and I will tie that in with my story in a little bit, where I'll be pulling in another stamp set that I'm going to share with you on this page. So with these letters, they are acrylic, so yes, I'm using the liquid glass again. You'll notice at the start the lid didn't quite come out. I had to sort of poke a little bit more of a hole in it. Now this stamp here is very cool. This is called Looking Forward, and this is the January stamp of the month. So what's cool about the stamps of the month is they now also come with thin cuts. If you're a VIP, you get this stamp set free if with qualifying orders. If you're not a VIP in New Zealand, they cost us $10 with a qualifying order, but you can now also get thin cuts at a discounted rate as well. So VIPs get it even more discounted than everyone else. But the wee journaling one there that I've just stamped directly on the page for this one is really cool, because if you use the thin cut, it looks like you've torn it out of a notebook. There's some really cool sayings on it. So the best is yet to come, coming next. There's some goals, magic of new beginnings and adventures, and I guess that's really cool for January. However, I can see lots of uses for this set beyond that. So essentially this sort of journaling one now I think could be used for everything. The best is yet to come could be a wedding, it could be a baby's birth, it could be new studies or new adventures, shifting to a new place. There's also beautiful new beginnings, which in many ways could be every morning, because each day we get to kind of start over. The magic of new beginnings, I'm not so sure about magic, but new beginnings do have a really good feel. There's an adventures and goals and stuff like that. So absolutely quite happy with how this is looking. I did wonder about popping on some sort of dots or some sparkles or something, but I decided I was actually quite happy with the way it stands. Not so fussed on the colour of these sort of close-ups or anything like that, but they give you a bit of an idea or a bit of a closer up look. If you're interested in purchasing any of these products, my store link is below if you're here in New Zealand and don't already have a maker that you work with. However, just Google it in other countries and you will be able to access some of these gorgeous products. And if you're one of my customers, again, thanks for watching and thanks for purchasing.